Dear students, good day. Today we are going to discuss the story Around the World in 80 Days. We are going to discuss chapter 13, but before this we have to revise what happens at the end of chapter 12. At the end, we knew that the bridge at Medicine Bow was not strong enough, but the driver had an idea, which is to cross it as fast as he could, even if the bridge collapsed. Passepartout had another idea, which to let the other passengers walk across the bridge, then the driver can drive it. But what happened is that the driver went as fast as he could and the bridge collapsed. Chapter 13. Attacked by Sioux. They are the gang of thieves who stop trains and drop passengers. We have an adventure now with them, with Mr. Fogg and Passepartout and Mrs. EL-FOUAD. Main points of the chapter. Passepartout and the group had traveled from San Francisco, and this had taken 3 days and 3 nights. They are still on schedule. While they were playing whist, a man came into the passenger car. It was Colonel Proctor. Do you remember Colonel Proctor? He was the man who was trying to hit Mr. Fogg and hit Mr. Fix instead. Mr. Fogg said that no Englishman should be insulted like this, and said that he would take his revenge later. Now it was his chance. We knew also that Mrs. EL-FOUAD had suggested the game of whist when they first saw Colonel Proctor in order to distract Mr. Fogg. Mr. Fix and Passepartout tried to fight Colonel Proctor, but Mr. Fogg wouldn't allow it. When the train stopped at Plum Creek, Mr. Fogg got off the train with Mr. Fix and Passepartout to fight Colonel Proctor. They were trying to get ready for a duel. A duel is a fight in which 2 men start firing guns at each other and the winner kills the other. While they were waiting, the conductor asked all the passengers of one car to leave for a few minutes, and the 2 men got their guns ready for a duel. This would happen inside the carriage. Do you think this man is a reasonable man, or is he insane or mad? Mr. Fogg and Colonel Proctor stopped their duel because the train was attacked by the band of Sioux. The driver tried to stop the train so that the soldiers could come to help them, but he was hit by a bullet. He had an idea that the next station there were some soldiers waiting there, so he wanted the soldiers to help them, but he was hit by a bullet. Passepartout was brave enough. He unhooked the engine of the car, means he separated it from the other cars, and the driver's car kept moving on. The Sioux took Passepartout and 2 other passengers as hostages. It means they took them by force and wanted to take a ransom or some money for the return. Mr. Fogg decided to find Passepartout dead or alive. I think that you agree with me that Mr. Fogg is a changed man now. He might lose his bet for a servant, and this made Mrs. EL-FOUAD admire him more. Mr. Fix didn't want to let Mr. Fogg out of his sight, and he began to believe that Fogg wouldn't return. He thought that this was only a clever trick to fool him in order to escape his crime of stealing the Bank of England. A man came up to Mr. Fix and spoke to him. Mr. Fix shook his head and sent him away. Pay attention for this man. He's going to help us later. By morning, Mr. Fogg returned with Passepartout and rescued all of the passengers. Mr. Fix was surprised to see them. He hadn't expected them to return. You have to study Unit 8 OL, and you have a sheet enclosed to this video. Goodbye.